Welcome to Limor TV, the place to be to learn about money and get inspired to take small steps to improve your finances. I'll show you what I've learned. In today's episode, I'm going to be explaining a new way of thinking about savings. It'll make it a lot easier. Come on, this will be cool. Lots of people think about savings and budgeting as punishment. It's a way to infringe on their lifestyle. Maybe it's belt tightening, cost cutting. It's really just about removing all of the fun. What if we were to think about saving differently? What if we were to put it on its head and instead of focusing on what we're not spending our money on, let's focus on what our money is going to go towards. Let me tell you my approach to the trade-off. When I was 18 years old, I applied to the Schulich School of Business at York University. I was going to study international business in a great new program called International BBA. Sure, I'd be studying business for 4 years, but the amazing part is that I would have the opportunity to study abroad. And I knew that that was mandatory for me to graduate. Before I had even got accepted into the program, I had decided I was going to spend a year studying in France and traveling all the corners of Europe. All seemed very exciting, but there was a really big obstacle. How was I actually going to pay for this? At the time, of course, I was a student making minimum wage. I'm sure many of you can relate to the situation where you have a really big goal and a long way to get there. I knew from the time when I had applied that I would have about just over 3 years before I'd be going away in my third year of university. So I doubled down on all my part-time jobs. I folded clothes at stores at the mall, I coached gymnastics, I taught cartooning classes to kids, and my favorite job of all was that I was on the roster of a few different focus group companies where they would bring me in and pay me $25 an hour to watch their commercials on coffee, on yogurt, on bubble gum. It was exciting, except that I could only do that maybe 1 hour every 6 weeks. I was making all of this money and still felt like I wasn't really getting there. So I came up with this really great trade-off. I used some sort of wonky math and arrived at the figure of $75 a day. I figured that that would be a really good average. Some days I would be traveling and paying for flights and hotels, and other days I would just be staying locally and going to class. Now, 75 times 365 is over $27,000, and that was a lot of money to save when you're mostly making minimum wage. As I was saving, I kept thinking to myself, all I need is $75 a day. And that way I felt like I was making really good progress. Every time I saved $75, I had earned one more day in Europe. It also made trade-offs a lot easier. So if I'd go to the mall and see a really great outfit, and it cost about $75 a day, I would think, do I want this really great outfit or one more day in Europe? And then, as I contemplated the two, it was very easy to choose the day in Europe. I actually learned this trade-off game from my mom. When my family and I first moved to Canada, I was 7 at the time. We were obviously new to the country and were being very careful with our money. Both my parents worked full-time jobs, and after work, my mom would come home in a big hurry, whip up some dinner before she would help myself and my sisters with our homework. Of course, it was obviously a lot easier for her if she bought a ready-prepared meal. And sometimes that would be a ready-cooked chicken. I tell you this story because when I was maybe 9, I asked my mom one day for something kind of frivolous. I don't know, maybe it was a toy or something. I don't even remember what it was. But what I do very vividly remember was her response. She looked at me and in an instant she said, "But Limor, that's 3 ready-cooked chickens." We both looked at each other and we laughed. It was really funny, but more importantly, I learned a great lesson that day. If you think of money as money, it's just really easy to spend it. But if you attach an item or an experience to a value of money, it becomes a lot harder to part with, and you become a lot more careful about what it is that you're spending. That brings me to today's tweetable. Money is easy to spend if you don't attribute it to a value. So here's my challenge to you. Are you saving for something big? How can you think about it differently? Maybe chunk it down into something that can be a little bit more of a trade-off, or it can make you feel like you're making progress in a much better way. Come on back and leave a comment below and let me know how you're doing with that. Did you like this video? Did you learn something? Subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And if you want even more inspiration and financial tips and tricks to make your money journey even more fun and exciting, and it can be fun and exciting,
come on over to LeeMoreMarkman.money and sign up for email updates.
Remember, I'm not here to change who you are or how you live your life. I just have strategies to make you even more financially fabulous. You don't even have to change that much of what you're doing. Just feel proud that you're taking small steps to improve your finances that will give you greater confidence and peace of mind. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on LeeMore TV. Welcome to LeeMore TV, the place to be to... Welcome to LeeMore TV, the place to be to... Hi, Mom. Yeah. No, I'm just busy at the moment. I'll call you back. Okay. Love you. Bye. Welcome to LeeMore TV.